How about the Miami Dolphins? They did an end of year press conference. They had Chris Greer stage right. They had Mike McDaniel stage left. We're going to show you a clip of this in a second. But keep in mind the scouting report. Chris Greer's been in the job for 8 years, hasn't won a thing, nada, nothing. Mike McDaniel came extremely, not just highly recommended, but an out of the box hire who everything he touched turned to gold. He was quirky, he was interesting, he was brilliant. People around football and around Florida said, "This is your permanent Belichick. This guy's going to be around forever." That quirkiness became strange, became weird, became ineffective. He then said something during his press conference that I want you to hear, because if I'm Steve Ross and I just committed to McDaniel for another season and then I hear this, I'm very concerned. Coca?
You don't get anywhere if you're constantly. I can find people till they're blue in the face. I can take their money. I can yell at them. But until they understand that part of the reason that we're in the position is controllable, and we have to, with absolute certainty and a zero tolerance for anything else, we have to clean the controllables up, and we can have a chance to have success together. So, there was a reason that was a overall theme for the final team meeting, and the whole key is that they understand the expectations, and that they not only understand the expectations but embrace them, which sometimes take hard lessons to do.
When you're talking and you're going to talk in absolutes, just be careful. And I say this to you with your job and with your just in life. When you say the whole key is, and then you say what it is, embracing expectations, you can't then say the whole key is embracing expectations. Not only embracing expectations, but also fulfilling them, or whatever he said after that, which obviously means the first part is not the whole key. It's part of the key. It's the partial key. What is Mike McDaniel telling you during that 54-second sound on tape? Sounds like he completely lost the locker room. Controllables are come in two fashions. They look two different ways. We call them in baseball self-inflicted injuries. That's when you punch the dugout. That's when you self-inflicted is when you make mental errors. You throw to the wrong base. You're not hustling. You don't know the outs. You're not taking care of your body. The physical errors, not self-inflicted, not controllable. Behavior. Is Mike McDaniel referring to people being late to team meetings? Why is he finding so many players? Are so many players breaking team rules, not showing up to practice, showing up late, going full AI? That actually has two different meanings now. It just occurred to me, Coca. Side note, when I say AI, does everyone now think artificial intelligence, like AI? I still think Allen Iverson. Practice? Remember when Tyreek Hill met the media right after the game, Sunday, the final Dolphins game, and said, "See you later. I'm out of here." He didn't exactly walk back those comments when he had a couple days to reflect on them, but he never has requested a trade. He's signed for next year. And so we have to believe that there must be an overall problem inside the Dolphins clubhouse. And there's two different types of those problems. It can come from a bad apple who can infect the entire clubhouse, in which case you trade or release that bad apple, no matter how good they are on the field. Or there's a systemic issue that starts at the top, at the leadership level. Sometimes it can be as high up as the owner or the president or the GM or one of the coaches or the manager. Is the issue in Miami that Mike McDaniel and his quirkiness, it just feels old and spoiled already? And that the locker room doesn't believe in him and want to run through a brick wall for him? That's the whole Dan Campbell situation. What I had underestimated about Dan Campbell is him as a leader of men and men wanting to do anything for him. Because when you have a combination of wanting to do something for yourself and for others, it can make you unstoppable. And you try to do that when you're building your team. You try to put a group of management together who your team wants to play for, not in spite of. So many examples of teams that win in spite of their coach or manager. But from a sustainable standpoint, long-term winning, which is what Stephen Ross and all these owners talk about. We're going to build toward competitiveness on an annual basis where we can compete for championships and win Super Bowls, multiple. We hear that in every sport. That's what every coaching change is, every GM change, every president change. It all comes with the same words. We're trying to build a winning atmosphere and sustain it. Did anything about that sound from McDaniel give you any sort of comfort that the Dolphins are building any of that? It certainly did not do that for me. In fact, it had the opposite impact. And I would tell you that Stephen Ross looks at that press conference because he will get tape of that. I doubt he watched it live, but he'll get tape of it from one of his associates, maybe even his PR counsel, and he'll look at it and he'll have to talk to McDaniel. Because if there are controllable things that are going on inside that clubhouse and McDaniel doesn't have control of them, why exactly is he the coach? We're going to find out as this offseason unravels.